Evaluation question number 2.
How does your media product represent particular social groups?
In today's culture, there's many different social groups, and films use this to their advantage, just as we did, I'd say. Yeah. Like they use it to build an actor, like a main actor or protagonist. Yeah.
And it's usually the key part
Yeah.
of the actor or protagonist,
Yeah.
which builds them, and then they can create the storyline.
Yeah.
Kind of around that.
I'd say we were particularly excited about this part because being teenage girls themselves, we thought we could relate to a particular social group quite well.
Yeah.
So.
First, we're going to compare Megan, who was our protagonist, to Jodie Foster's character in The Silence of the Lambs, on her appearance and overall character.
So I think, first of all, her appearance, she's quite careless with her appearance, Jodie Foster. I think the producers made her quite...
Because she's got her hair tied back into a ponytail, but she's got bits falling out everywhere.
Yeah.
She's quite sweaty as well.
Yeah, from running away.
Obviously, she's been doing exercise.
I think, I think Megan's appearance, we made her look quite careless. What she was wearing, it wasn't really planned. It didn't look as if she'd planned it.
No.
It looked as if she found the first thing and she just put it on. She left the house.
And also, although we did try and make it look like she'd just randomly put things on, we did kind of stick with the key colour black, because that obviously it's a dark colour and would, kind of
bring out her changed character. Yeah. Because I think we made Megan a girl next door, didn't we?
Yeah, like the average.
That would be her first character, and then she changed. She changed because of certain events throughout the film.
Yeah. So, because we planned the character, although we were only looking at the film opening, we did think of the long term, but that's mainly because we put our ending at the beginning of our film. And so we thought about the character and what she would do and what type of social group she would fit into.
Yeah.
And things like that. Jodie Foster, although she is a lot older than Megan, which is a significant difference because Megan is a teenage girl, she does seem like she relates to the same kind of cause.
Yeah.
Because
I think they're both in distressed situations. It's clear to see that Jodie Foster in The Silence of the Lambs is distressed, or she's running for some reason, and the audience wants to know why she's running.
And if you're only looking at the first 2 minutes of the film, it doesn't actually tell you what. No, which is what we found in our deconstructions.
I think the social group we wanted to mostly relate to was teenage girls and teenagers, and we imagined Megan being a girl next door. She's just an average girl. There's nothing special about her, not in a harsh way. She's just a normal girl, and I think we wanted to change her throughout the course of the film.
Yeah, because in society today, nobody really wants to be alone, and all girls kind of strive to fit in with, their friends, their peers, and everyone like that.
They crave to be wanted.
So sometimes they lie about certain things which are happening to them in their life, maybe their house or their income or whatever. And we think that if that was something which Megan did, that would kind of,
I think,
change.
Teenage girls would be like, whoa, I've lied about something before. Could that get me into that situation? We're not necessarily trying to teach anything. Like the fable, The Boy Who Cried Wolf. Fable's all about teaching people morals. Yeah. And I think we based our film and our film opening on the fact that certain things can escalate. I think,
because we kind of thought along the lines of, if we did make the whole film, we'd kind of have Megan lying about certain things and changing about, things about herself, trying to make herself fit in with her with these maybe popular girls and things, whereas she's the average girl.
Yeah.
And maybe like add like a boy in there who really loves her for, you know, all the lies and the like facade she's got. And so maybe he finds out, which turns him against her, because, you know, the boy who cried wolf after a certain time stopped believing him. And so then when the wolf was actually there, you know.
And the boy, this boy we mentioned, could be that wolf. Like, he could, like,
symbolise the wolf.
She's lost everything. She's lost everything that she used to stand for. And I think you can see that at the start, because we put our ending of the film at the start in the film opening. That is when you're seeing her at her weakest.
When she's so distressed and she's so tormented, and that, you know, she's in the actual film opening, there's a close up on her where she says, "I'm sorry."
Yeah.
And we're thinking that if we did make the long film, that could be for the lies that she's told and you know, the false persona or whatever, you know, that she's put on and tricked people with.
I think also in today's society, there's like teenagers. I think teenagers go through a lot in today's society, and I think we wanted Megan to be a teenager that had gone through a lot, and this is what changed her, and that is how I think if teenagers, even though they're not necessarily our only target audience, if teenagers were to watch this film, I think something would click and they would be like, "Oh, I've been through quite a lot."
But or they'd kind of relate with even just the age of the character.
Yeah.
They'd be like,
because Megan's 16, so yeah.
Be like, that's something that could happen to me.
Yeah.
And things like that.
Yeah. I think also Megan isn't. You see some teenage actors and they look so much older than they are. Where I think we chose Megan partly not just because of her acting skills, but because the way she looked. She looks like a 16-year-old girl, I'd say. I think it's not something, but it's believable.
Yeah. Or maybe even if she did, from other people's perspective, looked, you know, 17 or 18, she doesn't look like she's 25 or 30.
It's not ridiculous. It's realistic.
She does look true to her age and does effectively give off, you know,
a vibe of a teenager. Yeah. I think that definitely, I'd say that came through in our film opening. I think even though our film wasn't completely centred around the fable of the boy who cried wolf, it was because fables are so well known, I think it kind of runs through, it's a theme that runs through our film opening. And this well-known aspect gives us an advantage.
Because people know it.
You see films like, I know this isn't a fable, but Romeo and Juliet by Shakespeare, that is put in so many films now, and they're so successful because they're so well known.
Yeah, so that gives us a big advantage because, you know, everybody knows that fable, and so it might not, you know, come off directly on the surface of the film, but if they go away and think about the film, they'll think, well, actually, you know.
I think it's becoming increasingly popular. I think when looking at the film market, when we were trying to see, you know, just out of interest, if our film opening would fit into the gap in the market, it did, because at the minute, fairy tales are becoming very, very popular to make into films, and modern films that relate to teenagers, particularly teenage girls. I know Little Red Riding Hood is a new film that's come out with Amanda Seyfried in it, and she's a really popular actor at the minute, and she is made to look like a teenage girl, an innocent teenage girl, and I know that was very popular with teenage girls, so
exactly,
this is
And although we were saying as well that the older generations could be interested in this film, I think that might be because of the fable thing, and it's a big life lesson kind of thing, the whole thing, and also it's kind of like a scary story.
They might sympathise with the teenage girl, with Megan,
especially if they've got children of their own.
Exactly.
Teenage children of their own, they might be thinking, is this actually happening to my child? You know, and if, you know, they might. It might make them like worry, and we want audience reaction. That's what you want from a film. We don't want like mass panic or anything.
But we like need a reaction. Without a reaction, a film is nothing.
No.
It's just pictures on a screen. So
I think that's quite good, and the fact that we represented Megan, and we thought really in depth about how
Yeah.
we could relate other things
I mean,
into it.
Our focus groups that we did, they were with teenagers.
Mm.
And I think even though that focus group wasn't necessarily related to, that wasn't a ploy to like create a social group for our film, it kind of helped because we saw the way that they spoke and we saw the way that they acted. And being teenagers ourselves, we brought some of us into it. And
they're kind of, I think they did kind of relate to the character in some way because they were teenagers.
I think, I know that I got quite a few comments afterwards saying, like, that was quite scary. And I was like, why is it scary? And they're like, because that could happen to me.
It's our age and things like that.
Yeah. And they're genuinely like, oh, that could be me. Yeah.
So, I think we did really think about the whole social group matter and things like that.
I know with the costume of Megan, we observed quite a few, this sounds bad, we observed quite a few people in our sixth form, and we saw what they wore, and
a lot of them were like lots of colourful clothes and like showing their personality, and we were thinking, if they're showing their personality on their clothes and Megan's feeling, distressed and dark, we should put her in the dark black clothing, as I said earlier, because
we saw that the happy people, they express themselves
with like bright colours.
We wanted it to be nondescript, so
so we put her in black so that
you couldn't tell.
No,
really, you just knew that. Because I'd never walk out in something like that, and I'm a teenage girl, so that makes me think.
And also, it makes you focus more on like her face. And because that's the only place where you get an emotion. Because also her body language as well.
And her flower in her hands. The flower in her hands more stood out.
Because that's the bright colour.
That's basically, the flower kind of represents what she used to be. The innocent, because flowers sometimes represent innocence, and that innocence is going. So
but she still carries that innocence around with her, she's carrying the flower. And also we linked it in because she got the flower for her birthday from her mother, which is like a big gift.
It's sentimental, and I think teenage girls would like that. And
because if you've got like a really close bond with your mother, and like you don't need all the fancy, things like that. And because we're picturing her as, girl next door, average girl, maybe her mum doesn't earn that much money.
No.
So a flower
is a big thing for her.
Is a big,
Also, I think it being her birthday on the day she wakes up during the film opening, I think teenage girls see their birthday as quite a big event. And
the happiest time
of
the year.
So her waking up and it being her birthday, and that's going to be ruined across the course of the film. That makes teenage girls like...
Because usually birthdays are happy, and people wish for your birthday to be happy. And
it's a social event.
And the fact that hers has been ruined because, she's so distressed and looks like she's actually going to commit suicide, kind of hits you hard, really, because that's the beginning of the film, and that's a really powerful opening, I think.
I think it's like teenage girls want that particular social group, that is an important thing to them. That is one of their big beliefs.
And if she is in the film, I think, do we say happy 16th birthday? If we say that, that's sweet 16. That is like
the moment of like, that is highly celebrated, and so that particular social group will feel worried for her.
Or like it'll make them want to watch the rest of the film because they'll be like, oh my gosh, I want to avoid this because I love birthdays, things like that. So overall, through all of our research and
observations,
like that, I think we have represented the
teenage girl social group as a whole. Although it's a big social group, it is being represented widely.
Although maybe we're not doing certain tiny aspects of it, I think, to appeal to like the mass market.
I think it was easy for us to do because we are teenage girls,
and we can ourselves relate.
It's
to
it's going to be more effective than if we try and portray a 30-year-old woman.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Because we haven't got personal experiences of
being a 30-year-old woman. So,
we're not there yet.
Yeah.
So, overall,
we've represented teenage girls.